When we go out, listen to me, when we do go to take care of what we need to take care of, she keeps bringing up excuse. She can't find the phone, she can't find the keys, she can't find this, the neighbors, she keeps complaining, and that's her way of abuse. So the reason she tells people that she doesn't have something, to have them call me to go there, is to torture me, because she's addicted to doing that. That's what works for her. To say that she's old lady, she doesn't have food, is what works. And she's using that method right now. What you're doing, she does every single day, multiples of time, with neighbors, with police, with social workers. She tells them, call my son and tell him to bring food, that she's starving. It's a lie. It's a method. It works. She's been doing it. She was doing it to my dad when I was a baby. I've seen her do that every day, to my dad, to my brother, to my sister. I'm the only surviving member of this family other than her. Are you hearing me? I know you have a job to do. I know you have to do it. But every time you guys call me, police call me, neighbors call me, it's her way of torturing me, because it's a wound and she's poking at that sore every day. And that method has been used, and to get me arrested, to have police enter without a warrant. And I have it all on video. And they refuse to take the report of those violations intentionally. So I need to file report of all of those violations that are violations of the law and the facts. If you fact check what mom has told you, that right now what her filing her report with you is a violation. Because the supervisor was there yesterday and there was so much food there, there's no way it would have run out by today. What has reported today to you is a violation. It's a false report, intentionally done for the purpose of abusing me. Do you understand? I need to file a report with you that what she's done is a violation. It's an intentional, malicious, sadistic act, and it's a fact that she does that daily, multiples of time. Do you understand? Do you understand? I need to file with you of that what she's doing is torturing me. She does it every day intentionally, using police, using social workers, using neighbors, to tell them, to exploit the sympathy of an old lady not having food, because that's what works, to get them to call me and to torture me, because she's been doing that to me all my life. Are you hearing me? I need to take action to stop her from doing this to me.
So I do hear you, and I want to be clear. She didn't ask me to call you. I understand your situation. I am hearing what you have shared with me. But in this particular case, I just want to be clear that she did not ask me to call you. In my conversation with her, she mentioned she had a son. So I asked her where her son lived. And she said he was nearby. And because you were nearby, I thought that I would reach out to you. So she did not ask me to call you.
Okay.
I called you because she said she had a son. And as a son myself, I figured if someone told me, if the report made...
I know. Look, all of the people who perpetrate, they know. So the social worker who was there yesterday, I asked her for her card. She didn't say, I don't want to give you the card. People who perpetrate know how to do it so that they don't incriminate themselves. Right? They know what kind of threat to give you to make you scared. And then they say it in a way, when you go to the cops, they say, well, he didn't say, I'm going to kill you, Zeke. They didn't give your name. He could have been talking to a roach. So I have that on video. They know exactly how to word things to get what they want without it looking like they get somebody else to do something for them. They manipulate your own friends against you, and then they say, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't do it. That was another person who reported. Do you understand? And I've gotten arrested using the method like that. I know all too well. She didn't tell you, call my son Zeke, but she knows what to tell you so that you would call me, so that it wouldn't incriminate her, to make her look innocent. Do you understand? I know all these methods, every single one of them. That, you see, but I still need to file against her for this single one today individually. Every one of these reports, I need to take action and stop her from, just because she's my mom doesn't give her permission to abuse me. Do you understand? And she's been doing it all my life. So tell me every single one of your questions, I will answer them, but I will still prevent her from doing what she's doing. Take the necessary actions and prosecute her to the full extent of the law, not have sympathy, because this is what happens in all these families. Because the victim has sympathy for their own family member, they allow it to go on generation after generation, day after day. Do you understand? The victim is loyal to their perpetrator, the abuser, because it's their own family. It's going on right now, all these families I'm working with and I'm documenting. Do you understand? Just because she's my mom doesn't give her permission to torture me daily and feed off of it, to feed her addiction to doing so. I have video of my dad had 8mm movies when I was a kid of her taking off my diaper and touching me, using me like a rag doll. I have that video. I can send it. It's public video. I can send it to you. Go ahead and ask your questions. I will answer every one of them.
My question to you, because we adult protective services, we receive reports of abuse for elderly and the disabled adults. Do you believe you fit to the category of an elderly person, being that you're 60 and above, or you are a person with disabilities?
So I'm 50. I'm was born July 22nd, 1968. Does that make me elderly?
If you're not 60, if you're not over 60, then you do not.
No, I'm not 60 yet. No, so I'm not elderly. I do not have disability. I have been. Okay, go ahead. I am not disabled. No. Oh, I have. If I'm not disabled or elderly, I cannot file that violation. That's what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, we would not be the agency for you to make a report with, because the reports that we take are for adults with disabilities.
Yeah. So, but but if it does happen when the malicious intentional report is filed, that is a violation, right? Even if it's against someone who is not disabled or elderly, it is a violation. Correct? Where do you report that? If it's not with you, how do you handle a malicious intentional if it's been done repeatedly for years? When it's been done 150 times. Look, yeah. Right? 150 times.
What I would suggest. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead. Tell me. Answer me, please.
What I would suggest is, I want to be clear that that's not our jurisdiction as an agency. I would suggest maybe even literally just calling the police department and asking them and getting some insight from them on where you would file a report.
Okay.
With these allegations. But our agency...
I got that your agency doesn't handle that. Okay? Please don't repeat that statement. I acknowledge it. I understand it. I don't dispute it. I acknowledge it. So repeating that over and over again doesn't help me. It only takes up, like filibusters, takes up space that I need to communicate. Please don't repeat that statement again. I got that you don't. Your agency, Adult Protective Services, isn't the agency to file against her. I understand that. Got that. And the police, I've been going to them. They also have been as I explained to you, intentionally not helping. The two properties that she owns, in this one that I live, there was a squatter who was drug dealing fentanyl, and they knew about it, they were supporting. This is why they're not helping, is because it's their own corruption. They don't want it revealed. I'm reporting publicly.
So with that, again, you can address that with the police. But with regard to the reason for my phone call, I feel like I've gotten the answers that I need to be successful, move forward. You've asked a question on where you would file those reports. My recommendation is to reach out to the police to get assistance for that. Outside of that, unless you have any other specific questions for me, I believe we are comfortable at concluding this conversation.
So the fact that she's filed 150 times and there's nothing else you can do about it, there's nothing you can do about it, that she's filed 150 times. With you, your agency can do nothing because I'm not elderly and because I'm not, there's no policy or mechanism to prevent somebody abusing your service like that.
There's currently no limitation on how many times a person can submit a report.
Even if you are aware that they're all false and malicious, you don't want to help with that. The lady yesterday who came was the supervisor. Why would she not give me her card when she's aware there's a problem, when we need to work together to solve it? Why would she not give me her card? Why do you understand? The effort is made to prevent the solution of it. You have to take her report and call me when you know she's been doing that 150 times maliciously and intentionally. Nothing you want to do. There's no policy in place or intention to help solve somebody abusing reports of Adult Protective Services to hurt their own son, and they've been doing it 150 times. Correct? You want to confirm that, or is that not true? That's what my experience.
So I want to offer the explanation this way. We don't know a person's intent until we do an investigation. So if your question to me is, can we stop her because of her intent? We don't know what anyone's intent is until we do an investigation.
The fact that she's done it 150 times, you don't know it's intentional, malicious, and then you won't do an investigation unless. Are you saying you won't do an investigation because I'm not disabled or elderly? How can I get an investigation done?
So we don't investigate for those people who don't meet the criteria or eligible for ASB investigations. We don't investigate.
So, but the lady that showed up, the supervisor, you don't need to investigate. It's done 150 times. Everyone knows it's malicious and intentional. You don't want to you don't have any policy in place because she's perpetrating on me and I'm not disabled or elderly. Then you have no policy in place to help solve this problem. You will go on taking her reports, even though she's done. And then when I'm asking for the supervisor for a card, she intentionally refuses it. She doesn't want me talking to. Do you have a supervisor I can talk to? Would you provide me with the name of a supervisor there? and the phone number I can talk to somebody I need to discuss this with. Do you not agree?
Sir, I'm actually an administrator here. I'm actually one of the, if you want to, for lack of a better term, I'm a supervisor of the supervisors. So what I'm sharing with you is we don't have any ability to file a report for someone who doesn't meet the criteria of an APS.
I got that. You can't take a report because I'm not elderly or disabled. Other than that, without that, with that option off the table, is there any,
Well, what I've offered to you, because we don't have an option of filing a complaint against her because you don't meet our criteria.
I got that. I got that.
To you was the recommendation to speak to the police.
I told you the police haven't been helping because they don't want to intentionally. Okay? Now that's an option other than the two options that, okay, so I can't because I'm not elderly or disabled. And the other option was police, which I explained to you. I have over and over, every time for the last 4 years I talked to police, they block communication intentionally and maliciously because I had squatter in my house a year and a half that was drug dealing and prostituting, and she has 14 arrests on her record. And she targeted me intentionally because I'm Middle Eastern, and I've reported to where you report hate crimes, and they were talking the same way. I told you that option also, so do not repeat again, please. That is there any other? Then there's no option. You don't have any. This is the way, because when you understand, when the laws and the policies are being abused by abusers and criminals and squatters and lawsuit abusers intentionally, and it's been going on for 4 years, and all the people involved say they can't do nothing about it, they just follow the policy, they have to do their jobs, then it's wrong. And then when it's wrong, a law being wrong and the policy being wrong, being abused, Rosa Parks had to go sit at the back of the bus. It was the policy, it was the law. But it wasn't right, it was wrong. And what's being done to me for 4 years daily is wrong. So then it has to be corrected. So people have to know that it's wrong. When population find out it's wrong, they will change the law. The America was founded, the First Amendment, when they came over here, the government Britain wasn't listening. The Declaration of Independence, because the government is doing wrong, it's not listening to the population, to the people. We, the people, I matter. And the law that is being abused right now, the policy, and you have nothing you can do about it, that is wrong. It has to change. The law is wrong. What you're doing right now is wrong. The police are wrong. They've been doing this intentionally for 4 years. It is wrong. It has to be corrected. And you have in you, there's a law called the Whistleblower Protection Rights. You are aware what you're doing is wrong. Even they have all these policies for you to avoid correcting it, but there is a law, the Whistleblower Protection Rights. I ask you to exercise that law and report publicly everything you know.
To be clear, sir, and I want to, I thank you for what you're sharing with me, the information, but I want to be clear. This is not a whistleblower situation because we're not committing a crime or we're not doing anything.
You are. You don't realize you're doing something wrong? You can't acknowledge you're doing something wrong?
We're not doing anything that's illegal. We're not doing anything that's wrong. We get a case of...
Wait. You just said you're not doing something wrong. She's been
We're not
calling
doing
you. You've been calling me. 150 reports were filed maliciously. You don't know that it's malicious and intentional. You don't know yet that she's called 150 times, and the supervisor that showed up yesterday. How can you not know that she was telling her that you are honestly telling me you don't know what she's doing is wrong?
But what I'm telling you is I don't know her intent. You told me that it was malicious. I don't know her intent.
How would you not know her intent is wrong when she's called 150 times?
So, sir, I would love to be able to give you some more recommendations.
No. I'm asking you straight answer.
And I'm giving you a straight answer.
You saying
I don't know her intent.
She's called 150 times maliciously and intentionally.
You said that.
You don't know that she's called 150 times?
Sir.
Wait. You're disputing that she's called 150. She has 150.
Okay.
You don't know how many.
I want to thank you.
You did. No. Listen to me. How many?
Sir, we're going to have a respectful conversation. I'm not raising my voice at you. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm not asserting things on your behalf. I'm not doing any of that. You've asked me questions. I've given you answers.
How many? No, fact check. Do you know how many reports she's filed?
There is a way for me to find out how many reports she has filed. The exact number. I can do that.
So, can you do it, please?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to share that information with you.
You don't need to share it. You do it yourself and find out how many, and then you tell me. That's what the police told me. Police can look up on the computer how many times she's called 911 the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So you do that. It's okay that you don't tell me. They know you don't have to tell me. But you do that, and you find out she's filed 150 reports. And you tell me, you find out she's called it for a fact, because that computer wouldn't lie to you, right? You found out, she's called 150 times, and you're going to tell me, she's filed reports 150 times, and based on that alone, you would not know that her intention is malicious and intentional?
I would not know her intent.
Why other reason would somebody make 150? Just basic that one question. You know for a fact the number of times she's called, and it's 150 times. You find out, and even though you can't tell me for some reason, that policy that you have, but you find out, and you can't determine from that fact alone that her intention is malicious and intentional, you telling me?
Yeah, what I'm telling you is
I'm asking you a question. I want an answer.
The answer to that question is I don't know her intent. I do not know her intent. And so
no. The question is no. You're trying to answer it in a way because you know it's a lie. Someone makes 100. If someone makes 150,
let's do this.
Someone makes you do not give a straight answer to a straight question. Is that not fair? You give a straight answer to that question. You phrase it in a way to not answer it.
Okay.
Well, that's the reason you say what I'm telling you. What I'm asking you is make the statement when someone has filed 150 reports to you.
Okay.
Don't answer me what I'm telling you, because that's how you phrase it to change the answer to make it an answer to a question I didn't ask.
Give you whatever answer is that you want.
No. The truth. Somebody, if you look it up, even though you can't tell me, you look it up, and it's that number of times I called. Based on that number called, you can't make the determination that is an abuse of your service, Adult Protective Services. The reporting is being abused.
No.
And then that answer that you gave right now, you're saying based on that, you're saying somebody files 150 reports with Adult Protective Services. You don't think that's abuse, and you don't want to claim whistleblower protection rights because you think someone calling 150 times, 150 reports with Adult Protective Services, you don't think that's abuse of Adult Protective Services?
No. So
Wait.
So I'm giving. I said no.
You feel that's an honest answer?
Sir, okay, sir. At 33 minutes on the phone call, I would love to be able to engage with you further, but I have other emergent.
You have other people to abuse with false reports? I should let you go. You don't want to bother. You're saying 150 reports.
I want to thank you for
you got no.
Thank you for your.
That's not. I don't want to thank you. I'm going to post this publicly and tell me your name again.
Sir, you asked the question.
Tell me your name again. I'm going to post this on YouTube publicly and go in front of City Council and show this video of you telling me to state your name again, please.
Yeah, my name is Prince James.
Prince James?
Yes.
Prince James from Adult Protective Services. You say my mom has called 150 times, and you find out the exact number, but the lady yesterday said she's called 150 times, and you're not allowed to tell me. You can find out for yourself, but you want to make that dispute about that. But she's called 150 times.
I'm not providing the number of times that she's called. I'm not able to.
The lady yesterday did. And the reason you would say you're not sharing, the lady yesterday did. And she was a supervisor, okay? So you disputing that is to cover up that you know it's wrong.
Sir, I have nothing to cover up. We get calls.
Someone calling finding 150 reports is wrong. It's abuse of your service, and you don't want to stop it. You don't want to do anything to stop it. You want to say, I don't know that she called her. I don't know her intent is wrong.
That's not quite what I said. I'm saying.
What is it you said? What is it you said? So say again. It's wrong. You acknowledge it's wrong? What did you say? You said you can't determine her intention is wrong or malicious. You don't think it's malicious? Tell me a statement. It's a fact. You want to cover it up. You can't talk straight with me. We see all of your answers are cover-up answers. You're doing something that's wrong, but your answers are to cover up that you know you're doing something wrong. Do you realize every single statement you made was to cover up that you know you're doing wrong? It's not a straight answer you've given me. Not one single statement you made was a straight answer. That I've been hearing words like that, statements like you made for 4 years from social workers and from cops. You're not able to talk straight with me. You're doing wrong right now, and you need to be able to acknowledge it. The fact that you can't and you don't want to is indication that this is a corrupt system. The fact that you don't want to report whistleblower protection rights because you don't think what you're doing is wrong. When you obviously you do, otherwise you wouldn't be covering up for it. You know how many times she's called. You know she's doing it intentionally, maliciously. Lady yesterday knew it.
So then I thank you very much for taking my phone call. Gather information.
Do you sleep good at night knowing that what you signed up to do is to help prevent abuse, but you're perpetrating it and you're covering up. You know you're perpetrating abuse. And you're a human being. You have in you conscience. You do. What do you feel? How do you feel about what you're doing? Cops say they're not allowed to tell me what they're doing. That's not.
And so unless you have any additional questions, I'm going to conclude this call.
You see the way you're talking? You're talking like a machine. You don't talk that way to your sister, to your brother, to your mom, to your dad, to your kids. That's an answer you tell someone when you don't want to be straight with them, when you're screwing them over.
Sir, I believe I've answered your question. You didn't like the way I gave you the answer. You wanted a simpler answer.
You're doing wrong. You're doing bad. You're being used to. You're abusing me. You're there to protect people from being abused, and you're abusing me.
Conclude the call. You don't want me to conclude the call. I've asked you if you had any additional questions.
If you're doing wrong, you should be able to stop doing it and correct it. You're there. You're the one who's supposed to be protecting victims, and you're perpetrating. You're not able to face up that you're perpetrating. And you want to finish the call so you can keep on perpetrating. You're supposed to be protecting, dude, Prince James. You're a human being. Other than the job you have, you are a human being. Underneath the job, the role that you play and the limitations of the policies and the role that you play, you are a human being. You know when you're doing wrong. You're there to protect the victims, and you perpetrating. You should be able to man up and say, this is wrong what I'm doing. I'm going to report. I know what I've been doing all this time. Poor Zeke, his mom has been reporting him for 150 times. It's wrong. You should put a stop to it. Prince James, I'm Zeke. I'm your brother here. I'm a fellow human being. And the policies, you've been trained, you've been brainwashed, all these methods. I've seen it happening all around. You have it in you to say, this is wrong, what I'm doing. I should quit doing it. I should stop telling Zeke, I thank you for your call. That's not an answer to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, mom's been abusing me all my life, and she's been using this method. You shouldn't tell. I don't want to hear from you, Zeke. I thank you for your call. I'm going to conclude this call. Go on to the next person. You can have it in you, say, hey, Zeke, brother, I know what your mom's doing to you. It's wrong, and I'm going to report it's wrong. I know it's wrong. I know it goes on all the time. I'm going to go call the news station, call everybody I know and say that this is wrong thing is going on. Adult Protective Service is being used by abusers, by squatters, by scammers to make false reports to hurt people. That's what the fact. And you should be able to man up, just like Rosa Parks stood in the front of the bus, sat down in front of the bus, said, I don't care the law is written this way. It's wrong. I have to stop. Do it for Rosa Parks. Do it for Jesus. Do it for God. Do it for humanity. Say this is wrong, what you're doing. Report it. James, report it. I'm telling you, I'm begging of you. She's been doing this to me all my life. You have it in you. Google my name and see my social media. I've been reporting this all for the last 4 years, what's going on. Look at my YouTube channel. I have playlist on Break the Silence. You're supposed to be there to help prevent abuse, and you perpetrating it yourself, saying, I want to conclude this call. Thank you for your call. Google my name and see how all the videos on there, all the abuse I've been getting last 4 years by police, by all these people who's getting manipulated by abusers, squatters, scammers, drug dealers, lawsuit abusers. You, as an individual, you have it in you to make that decision of your own volition to decide what's right and wrong and do what's right. I pray in Jesus' name, all these methods used, all the people that has been perpetrated on, be exposed publicly, and I believe in you, James, Prince James. I believe in you. You are Prince. You have that name for a reason, because somebody believed in you. You believe in yourself. You have it in you to know when wrong is being done and to correct it. God bless you.